Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by Thrive Fantasy. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Pre-Snap Podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar App and at LineStar NFL. And more importantly, check out the sponsors of the show, Thrive Fantasy. Doing a lot of great stuff over there at Thrive Fantasy to have some fun with some prop bets for your NFL action. They pick every contest has 20 props in them. You take an over or an under. They're weighted differently in points, so you want to get as many, and you have to pick 10 of them. So you want to get as many of the 10 correct and as many possible points, and you can see if you win. There's like anywhere from there's 55 player pools to thousands of player pools, all kinds of good stuff, and they got a ton of Thursday Night Football I'm looking at right now. But most importantly, the one we kind of like to promote all the time is a $20 entry NFL weekly action, $50,000 guaranteed pot right now. Really cool stuff. There's 2,800 total entries in this contest. So we'll go over some of those picks towards the end of the show to give you kind of a thought where we're sitting on this one. But for now, let's get in. Well, I'm so rude. I'm a horrible host. I'm on Twitter at BDentric. My co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. A little aggravated at my picks last week. I wasn't as bad as I thought, but it wasn't up to my standard. So we are going to get better this week. You were great. You were over 500 on both. So
appreciate it.
Congrats to you. So maybe fade Bogman and float Bubba. Let's go.
Yeah, you know how that works in the gambling world. That means that I get a tank next week and you go like undefeated. So everyone goes, screw you, Bogman. So that'll be fun stuff. But yeah, that's the world we live in. Week 3 upon us. We have a little bit more of an idea, hopefully, how these teams work, because some teams are doing totally different than week 1 and week 2. So we'll have to kind of play that game as we go. But we'll get right into this here. Thursday Night Football, Carolina Panthers at the Houston Texans. Obviously, Ty God is out. He's on the IR right now. So we got Davis Mills under center. Carolina's -8 on the road, over under 44. Are you just rolling with this heavy road favorite?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Carolina. Now, look, Houston has beat lines 2 weeks in a row. So maybe I'm being foolish by taking them. But I'm not just going to jump head first and not think about what Houston has done. They have looked much better than we thought, and a lot of people gave them credit for in the preseason. But for me, I got to take the Panthers in this. My cat likes the Panthers. I like the Panthers. It seems like an easy Thursday night victory because Davis Mills, I wasn't all that impressed with coming out of college, to be honest with you. And the Panthers defense has been playing strong so far. So for me, easy Panthers. Over-under's tougher, and I know the public betting is about 50-50 on it. The number is, you said 44. God, that's low, but I just don't know how Houston's going to score. I'm going to take the under, but it's with trepidation.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I really want to take Houston in this game, but Mills did not look great. But maybe a full week of practice helps. That's not even a full week. It's a short week. So
that's why.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina still. Sam Darnold looks good. Shocker. Get Gase off your back. It's amazing what happens there. He's got weapons and more.
He's got weapons, man.
CMC's awesome. Like, they just look like a well. And more importantly, I remember when I do, for those that don't pay attention, Bogman does radio 3 hours a week. I do 1 hour with him every week. And when the draft happened, I remember one of the big talking points was like, why did Carolina take all these defensive players? Well, their defense looks darn good right now. I know it's only 2 weeks. But my goodness, the improvements from last year to this year already look great.
J.C. Horn had a pick last week. Derek Brown seems to be making that next step. Jeremy Chin's already one of the best players in the NFL. So, that defense is coming along, man.
I'm still taking the over, though.
Yeah, you're still taking the over. Okay.
Yeah, because it's just
44 is low.
Bad analysis. Primetime games, like, it's just the Buffalo Wild Wings button happens. Like, look at that Giants.
It was 30-29 and 59 points.
No one thought that was going to be high scoring, and it just
very true.
Happens. So we'll see. Heading into Sunday now, where the fun begins. Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 6.5-point home favorites, over under 54.5. Chargers come off that tough loss against the Cowboys. Chiefs, a very tough loss on Sunday Night Football versus the Ravens. It's a tough one, Boggs. Really good divisional matchup here.
Yeah, I'm most confident in the over, as is the
100%,
public.
100%.
I mean, the public is overwhelmingly. And look, we did this bit last year with the Chiefs. I know I took the Chiefs a bunch on the over, and it barely ever hit because they played much better defense than anticipated. This year, their defense has been garbage. Now they played two good teams in Cleveland and Baltimore, but those teams aren't known for putting up a ton of points. They play grinded out type of football, and both their games have gone over so far. So I think the over is the easiest. 6.5 is a lot against a tough division opponent, but the Chiefs are at home, so I'm going to roll with them. Chargers lost a heartbreaker to Dallas last week, so they should come in inspired. I'm less confident about KC and giving the points than I am the over, but I'm still going to roll with them.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the over with you. It almost seems too easy, so I expect to see this as a loss next week. I hope it's not, because this is the game that we should all just be like tuned in to enjoy fireworks. But I'm going with the Chargers in this one. I think they're actually a very, very good football team. The Chiefs are a good team too, but they let teams hang around. They're 0-2 against the spread so far this year. The Browns stuck around with them. They obviously lost to the Ravens. Chargers, they went into Arrowhead last year and made some noise. So I'll take the Chargers and the over in this one. Chicago at Cleveland. Cleveland -7, over under 45.5, and it is the Justin Fields era beginning for the Bears in the dog pound. What do you have here, Boggs?
I mean, this one is this is a great one, man. And my favorite part about this is that Fields gets a full week. We saw him; he's a little shaky when he came in for Dalton, but you mentioned it when you were working through your process of the Thursday night game. You mentioned it. Well, Mills gets to work with the first team offense, but it was a short week for him. It's a long week for Fields. He gets a full week. So I'm going to take Chicago in this game. Give me the points too. The 7 points is just a lot for these two teams. I think I'm going to go with the over too, although I'm less confident in it. The public is very confident in the over. I'll say that. But I think Fields and Baker can go back and forth a little bit here. Chicago's defense looked real strong against Joe Burrow last week, and I know Cleveland's offensive line is much better than that. But Baker ain't Stafford. So that first week, what we saw from this Bears defense, I don't think is going to come to fruition in this game. So give me the Bears and give me the over.
Yeah, no, I like Chicago in this one as well. Justin Fields, he might have some rookie hiccups from time to time, but, bad analysis. It's in Ohio. Do you know where he went to college? Ohio State. A little comfortable if you really want to go for crazy stuff like that. I bring the wackiness to this. But I do like Chicago. They're a very good football team. He's got weapons to play with. He's going to be able to use his legs, which makes a big difference, unlike Andy Dalton. So give me Chicago keeping this one close, but I'll take the under because I do believe both teams, like the Bears, for at least they'll run the ball with Fields, or they'll kind of keep the running backs in play to kind of keep a little bit of pressure off of him. And we know Chubb's going to run wild as much as he possibly can, as long as the Bears are letting him. So give me the under in this one, Chicago and the under.
Now, do you think if the Bears win, Justin Fields grabs a Bears flag and plants it in the middle of Brown Stadium there?
I don't think he's got those kind of stones. No marbles.
That's what Baker did when Oklahoma beat Ohio State.
Yeah, but Baker, I'm not going to go there. But I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to prod him.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It was a cool moment. I hope Wisconsin does it in Chicago this weekend, but that's a whole nother story. They probably won't. Arizona at Jacksonville. Arizona -7 road favorites. Over under 51.5. The front runner for current MVP, Kyler Murray, I think is going to destroy Jacksonville this week.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville has not looked good. They are at home, but still 95% of money is on the cards. Over 90% is on the over. I think the Cards can get most of this themselves. You know what I mean? So a 35-17 game plays to it. 42-10, however you want to say it. I got Arizona in the over. I don't care.
This is an interesting one because week 1, we just totally bombed on how Urban Meyer ran this team. Week 2, we saw much more James Robinson as the lead back. We saw Lawrence do some things, at least on the early drives, and it kind of disappeared at times. It was a weird game for him. Still productive fantasy-wise, but we don't care about that when we do our bets. But yes, I like Arizona, Kyler Murray, and all those weapons. More showing up now. This over is tough. I'm going to take the over because I agree Arizona should score a ton. But man, Jacksonville could lay an egg and it would not shock me.
I think we're going to see a better Trevor Lawrence.
I think that's kind of where I think I was going with my progressions from the development from week 1 to week 2 with that offense. I think we're going to start seeing, okay, maybe he's more comfortable doing this. Let's try to involve this more,
right?
And so on and so forth. We'll see. But let's not forget that Arizona defensive line, very good. So that could be fun as well. Washington football team heading into Buffalo off of a big W in Miami. Buffalo minus 7.5, over under 45.5. Does Heineke have the in him this week?
This is a tough one for me. This whole game, under and the pick. Buffalo did not look like themselves week 1. I'm going to chalk that up to week 1 jitters, right? The Washington football team played a close one, but it was against the Giants, who we know are not very good. So I'm going to begrudgingly take Buffalo because they're at home. I hate that hook, man. I hate it. You know what? I'm waffling here.
Yeah, waffle.
No. I'm
some chicken with that waffles.
I do. I would love some chicken right now. But I'm gonna take Buffalo. I'm gonna take the over in this game, though. I think that Heineke can play a little. We saw that Terry McLaurin is going to be able to go past anyone. Trey White ain't going to hold him down. So I like the over in this game. Plus, let's not forget Washington had that extra time to prepare, a couple extra days off, coming off their big win. So give me Buffalo and give me the over.
I said it last week. Heineke's legit. We saw it in the playoffs. It's 3 games now. Heineke's looked very good, like at least a serviceable quarterback. He's not like just a random backup to me. I think he's actually could be good. Buffalo ain't no easy place to play in. We know that for a fact. This team's going to get better and better. I will take Washington plus 7.5 in this one, though. I think they do just enough to hang around, or at least that back door's open for like a late drive to kind of make it fun. Give me the under. I'm going to take the under in this one as well. It feels like an ugly football game, but an entertaining one, as weird as that sounds. So give me Washington and the under. Indianapolis at Tennessee, an AFC South battle here. We got Carson Wentz on 2 sprained ankles, or do we get Jacob Eason? We don't know. But Tennessee coming off a beautiful game, a nice bounce back game in Seattle. Home favorites at minus 5.5, over under 48. Where are you looking at on this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee for sure in this game, because even if we get Carson Wentz, I mean, didn't they say they outlawed Toradol? So, well, what is he going to have to be taking?
He's going to look like Dan Marino back there, not moving at all. Just
right. Just a statue. And, look, Tennessee doesn't have a lot of push up front, but you let Bud Dupree run free one time, and he would be Bud Dupree at that point.
Hey, that one 5 times fast.
I mean, I just turned into Pizza Pia here with the puns and the dad jokes. So, but
respect.
Tennessee, and I'm struggling on this over under. I'm going to take 48 slow. I'm going to take the over here.
Yeah, no, I like Tennessee a lot in this one. I think they go in and do damage. We saw it last week. They finally, I think one thing we forgot, and I heard it a lot, and it makes sense now, that week 1 could have been a big factor of most of the offseason. They had so many guys out with COVID. Like they were just not really together. I think that's something I overlooked when we were thinking about that. And maybe it was nothing, but it could have meant a lot. So I'll take Tennessee on this one coming home. But I'm going to take the under. I'm kind of wondering what Indianapolis does this game. I really am. Especially if it's Jacob Eason, take the under.
The only reason I take the over is because Tennessee's defense has not looked good.
It's fair.
They have not looked good. They give up a ton of points to Kyler, although he's good, but they gave up a ton of points to Seattle as well. The Colts are neither one of those offenses.
I was about to say, are we comparing Kyler and Russell Wilson to Jacob Eason?
We're not, but are we saying that the Colts can definitely not score 3 touchdowns? 100% they can't score 3. Because if they score 3, I think Tennessee's definitely scoring 3. Now somebody's got to win this game, kick a field goal, and we're right there. So, or score a touchdown, and we're right there. So I think this game goes over, but it's not with an insane amount of confidence. I say that.
Well, let's have a game that everyone's looking forward to watching. The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Giants. This could be a potential battle for the first pick in the draft. We'll see. Giants are minus 2.5 home favorites in this one, over under 46.5. Hey, what do you like here, Boggs?
I like the Giants at home with extra rest and with giving the damn ball to Saquon Barkley. You got to finally give him the ball. I know he did creep up on the stupid injury report today as questionable, but I think he's going to be questionable every single game this year. So give me the Giants in this game. Danny Dimes looked good. They looked like they were in a little bit of a rhythm. You started to see them pressure Tyler Heineke at the end of the game too. Matt Ryan is a bit of a statue, and I just really do not like what Atlanta has got on defense right now. They've already given up 8 passing touchdowns. Not like Danny Dimes is Tom Brady back there, but does he have to be? And they get the extra 3 days. Give me the Giants. Ugh, I hate this over-under. I'm going to take the over on this one as well. Don't like it, but I'll go with the over just because neither one of these teams play particularly great defense.
Muy simpatico, mi amigo. This is where I'm at with you also. Giants, I love what Danny Dimes doing. We talked about it on the recap show. Like, he was underappreciated in fantasy drafts for what he can do with his legs. Another year in that offense. He's got some I'm a big Sterling Shepard guy. I think he can feast against this Atlanta team.
Prop bet for him, he scores a touchdown.
Yeah,
100%,
he's going to eat.
Right?
This is like a sneaky kind of stack we might talk about on the Friday show, so keep that in mind. But I like the Giants quite a bit in this game, and I like the over just for the fact that Giants defense ain't great either, and Atlanta can move the football. They were in that game, they were covering that game until 2 pick sixes basically. So I think they'll score, but the Giants they win by at least a field goal and the over. New Orleans at New England. New England minus 2.5 at home. Over under 42. Mac Jones third start as he continues to get more comfortable in that offense. You going Patriots or Saints?
I'm definitely going with the Patriots here, and it's because we saw Jameis revert to the normal Jameis that we are used to last week. And now you have Bill Belichick scheming up against him in New England. So, but I do think Mac Jones might struggle a little bit. So it's only 2.5 points. So give me the Patriots, and I'm also going to take the under here.
Yeah, I like the Patriots quite a bit on this one. The over-under is tricky, but we know New England is going to run the ball as long as they can, eat the clock. It kind of feels like it's going to be a lot like last week's game against the Jets. And Winston could turn it over 4 to 5 times too. We know that. But I'll go New England and the under with you as well. I'm not as confident in the over-under in this one because 42 is low. But give me New England. I think they definitely win by at least a field goal at home, and Mac Jones goes 2-2-1 on the season. Baltimore at the Detroit Lions. Big win for Baltimore on Sunday. Detroit. Baltimore minus 8 on the road. Over under 50. Where are you going in this one?
I'm going to go with Baltimore in this game. Look, Detroit is getting better, and they hung around with the Packers for about 2.5 quarters in that game. And then, Aaron Rodgers happened late. So, but Baltimore, we just saw them beat Kansas City. They did lose to the Raiders earlier in the year. So the line is about as perfect as it gets. So, because if they win by a touchdown, they are not covering here. So Detroit can backdoor them, but because we saw Detroit play specifically great on the offensive line early in that game, they wore down a little bit as the game went on. I think that I'm going to go with the over 50 in this game. So give me the Ratbirds and give me the over.
I'm taking Detroit. Detroit at home. They haven't covered it this year. They've come close twice, like really close twice. Both games, they were like right there on the edge of the seats. If you guys watched the Monday Night Manning cast and saw Pat McAfee sweating out that ball in the end zone, one of the funnier things you'll see, way better than Al Michaels has ever sweated out an over/under in a game. But I'm gonna take Detroit on this one. I think they're starting to get. Goff actually looks decent, and it looks like we're going to see a lot of Swift this weekend, which could be a big impact for them. And give me the over as well. I'm much more confident in the over in this game than Detroit. It feels like they can move the ball. Like I said, Goff and company, they're getting the job done in that. And Baltimore's defense has not impressed me so far this year. Detroit over. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh in this one. Pittsburgh -3, over under 44. Divisional game. Pittsburgh got embarrassed at home last week. Do they bounce back, Bogman?
I mean, it's tough to say they're going to bounce back when so much of the defense is questionable. I mean, TJ Watt might not play. Devin Bush is still questionable. So is Joe Hayden. Tyson Lulu is out. Micah Fitzpatrick ranks as the dead last safety in the NFL, according to PFF, which is just crazy because I thought he played pretty good week 1. Apparently they didn't. But the also Ben is hurt. Ben might not play in this game with his shoulder, his pec. Right? So
it's a big pec too.
I think I'm gonna take the Steelers just because Cincinnati never seems to work it out against Pittsburgh. But I like the over in this game because of how banged up the Steelers are on defense. And Cincinnati's defense, while they are improving, still not fantastic. They look pretty good against Justin Fields, but come on. I mean, he was not ready to go in. So give me Pittsburgh and give me the over.
I want to take Cincinnati so bad in this game, so bad. But this is the ultimate.
On Cincy.
That's what I'm saying. This is the ultimate spot where everyone's like, "Oh, Pittsburgh looks so bad." Blah, blah. Pittsburgh wins by at least a touchdown. Give me Pittsburgh -3 in this one. This is the total. Mike Tomlin. I would hate to be in practice this week. I really would. Like it's the total. It's going to bounce back if Ben plays, especially. It's a big time. So give me Pitt -3 and give me the over in this one. It's a divisional game where Pittsburgh wants to make a statement, and it happens. And Cincinnati will put some points up. Don't get me wrong. So it'll be a fun game. But give me Pitt in the over. New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. Listen to this clearly. I'm not going to stutter. Denver is -10 in this game. Over under 41.5. Teddy Bridgewater is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this season through 2 weeks. It's crazy, Bogman. Are you taking the -10 at home against the Jets?
I mean, I think you have to. The Jets have looked terrible. And look at the public money overwhelmingly for that double-digit dog or that double-digit favorite in Denver, because it's in Denver. It's Zach Wilson traveling. Denver can be a tough place for any road team to play. You know, a lot like we talked about on the On Deck podcast with the Rockies and the power and everything. Teams get gassed playing in Denver. They get absolutely gassed because they're not used to it. So I think I am going to take Denver. The over-under is tougher for me because 41.5 is very low, but are the Jets going to be able to score is my question. I think they aren't going to be able to score. So I'm going to take the under on this game, even though it's already low. So give me Denver and give me the under in this game.
Give me the Jets because Wilson can't play as bad as he did last week. Give me the Jets.
You heard it. He didn't even knock on wood, everybody.
Yep.
He just said it.
Give me the Jets on this one. They're going to realize, oh, maybe I should throw the ball to my talented receivers again instead of forgetting who they are. Wait, that's because they were game planned because of Belichick. They don't have that coaching stack in Denver. I'm sorry. give me the Jets, but give me the under in one of the most ugly football games in the weekend. So Jets under. Ew, nasty game. Miami at the Las Vegas Raiders. Sans Tua. Vegas is -3.5. Over under 45. I'm just going to cry. So what do you like in this one?
Vegas in the under. I mean, Derek Carr looks like an MVP candidate. I don't know. Jacoby Brissett did not look good. Now, Jacoby Brissett's a vet. He should bounce back and look a little better. Will Fuller comes back this week. We like that. But I just, is Derek Carr going to keep this up? I think that's a big question. And what is Jacoby Brissett going to do? I think that's a big question. So I like the under more, but I'm also going to take Vegas because they just seem to be clicking right now.
Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. Las Vegas Raiders cover this one. They're going to be 3-0 to start the year. Craziness. Ravens and Steelers and the Dolphins. No one would have predicted that, I don't think. And give me the over in this one because I think this Raiders offense is legit. I think they're going to put up 4 touchdowns or more in this game. So I think this is going to be a big one. Vegas and the over. Tampa Bay at the Los Angeles Rams. Tampa Bay -1.5 on the road. Over under 55.5. This is potentially, possibly, probably the game of the week. So does Tom Brady go into SoFi Stadium and ruin this awesome start for the Rams season?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, look, the Bucks are just going to be hard to contain here. Atlanta looked like maybe they had a little piece of them for about a quarter, but it got away from them real fast. You make one mistake against this defense, and this defense is tough, man. This defense, it might be as good on defense as they are on offense, with this linebacking core of JPP, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Levante David with Nakam Suh, and Vita Vea up the middle. Your defensive backs don't have to be great. They just have to wait for somebody to pop the ball up in the air, and Mike Edwards to come down with it, run it back. So I am going to take Tampa Bay. Over-under is trickier here because I do expect some points because these offenses are good, but I think 55.5 is a lot. So I'm going to roll with the under on this one as well.
This is tough. I'm going to go with the Rams at home. I love Tampa Bay in this game. I really do. But I'm going with the Rams at home, +1.5. I think Stafford is for real. I think this Rams team is for real. And I'm taking the over in a this reminds me, reminiscent of that Chiefs-Rams game a few years ago. This feels like it's just
Monday night game. Yeah.
It feels like it's going to be an electric factory. So give me the Rams, give me the over in this one, and hopefully we see just one of the best games of the season potentially. It could be an NFC championship preview, basically.
Definitely could be.
Seattle at Minnesota. Seattle -2, over under 55.5. Does Seattle head into Minnesota with a packed house and that horn a blowing and walk out with a dub?
I hate this game. I do not like. I run away from it is what I'd say. Just sit back and watch this one because it's going to be a fun one. I think. What do you trust at the end of the day? Do you trust that Russell Wilson is going to be able to make some throws against this Vikings defense, or do you trust that this Vikings offense is going to be able to run all over Seattle because they don't have a lot of push up front? That's what this game comes down to. I'm going to take the home team because they're getting points here. So Minnesota +2. I'm going to take the under on this game because I think if Minnesota wins it, it's going to be at the line of scrimmage. Get back to what you do. You played that 33-34 game and you lost because of special teams. So don't count on special teams, right? Run the ball down the Seahawks' throat, score touchdowns with Dalvin Cook, use the play action for guys like Jefferson, Adam Thielen against this defense that is fairly weak. So give me the Vikings and the under.
Yeah, Cook's banged up, so we'll see if we might get a lot of Madison in that one too. So we'll see how that one plays out. But I agree, the game plan should be what you were talking about. I'll take Minnesota at home in this one. I think they're actually a pretty darn good football team. So give me Minnesota +2 on this one, but I'm gonna take the over. I think it's got some fireworks to it. Cousins is. I laugh when people give Cousins a hard. He's a very good quarterback. Like, I can't remember what stat I saw today, but he's basically surrounded by like Brady and Rodgers and a couple other studs over the last like 5 or 6 years when it comes to like certain like ratings in football games. So he's an absolute monster. It's gonna be Minnesota. Give me the over. Green Bay at San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. Niners -3, over and under 49.5. If you haven't heard, Bogman, Rodgers is from Northern California.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't know if you knew that.
Thank you, Al Michaels. I have heard of that.
I'm laughing because I heard that clip. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding. Like, come on, guys. He's only been in the league for like 35 years. Let's go.
Right. I mean, there were so many Niners rumors in the offseason. It was crazy. So,
and they passed on him in the draft for Alex Smith. Did you know that too?
Oh my God. Is that
okay.
true? Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there.
Alex Smith, did you know he broke his leg one time? So
comeback player of the year.
Oh, wow. Look at, you know, he almost lost his leg. That was a thing. So
like, really, did you see that 30 for 30? Scary stuff.
I mean, I feel like they just stopped talking about Ben Roethlisberger's motorcycle accident 2 years ago. So that's what this stuff feels like to me. It's just the same story over and over and over and over. Look, I'm most confident in the over in this game because Green Bay does not have a lot on defense right now. They have 0 tackles for loss. Their hurry rate is like 5%. It's low. Haven't got to the quarterback a bunch. This Niners O-line, I don't know who the hell is going to run the ball for the Niners, but this Niners offensive line is going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo clean in that pocket so he can pick apart Kevin King and company. So I like the Niners because they're at home. I like that way less than I like the over. I think this is going to be a point-for-point game, and I am really surprised that the public is on the under here. I guess it's because we don't know what is going to happen with the Niners offense, but I don't really care who's running the ball. They can run on Green Bay. So give me San Francisco and give me the over.
It's a tricky one. Niners super banged up, as you mentioned. Green Bay offense is legit as it comes. Might have found a few things this last game, but there's still a lot of holes. If you really watch that Monday night game, that makes you kind of wonder what's going on there, but I think they'll continue to get better. I'm going to take Green Bay on this one. I think they went outright in this game, and give me the over. I like the over much better like you do as well. So give me Green Bay, give me the over. Fun little Sunday night football action. Monday night football, Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys, NFC East battle. Dallas -3.5 at home, over under 52. This should be a fun one.
Yeah, this is going to be a good, these divisional games are always fun in the NFC East. I mean, these guys legit hate each other. I mean, you could say that about all the rivals, but you just watch the crowd, most fights and all that stuff. You're not going to get this many fights in a Chargers Chiefs game. You know what I mean? So
maybe Raiders Chiefs though.
Well, Raiders and anybody, I think you can get a bunch, but I mean, the East Coast teams just are nastier. I mean, watch, you see a Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh night game, look at the arrest reports around the stadium after that. It is ugly. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a hostile crowd in Dallas for Philly. So I do like Dallas in this game. I just think if you're looking at this, let's go with the quarterback, and it's Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts. We saw Jalen not look very good against the Niners last week. And look, I have talked a lot of smack about this Dallas defense, and they have looked much better than what I expected them to over the first couple weeks. First week you draw Brady, who had a whole offseason to prepare for you, and they were in that game. And that was because they threw the ball 58 times. So I like Dallas in this game. The over is a little trickier for me. I'll take the over. I think Philly's going to be able to put up a couple points here. So give me Dallas and give me the over.
Same here. Give me Dallas. Give me the over. I think Dallas wins by at least a touchdown, but it's a fun, close game for the most part. And Philly will move the ball. They should have scored a few more. Some very good Niners fans were saying they should have been down. Philly should have been up 21-0 at one point in that game. They just left a lot on the field, which I don't think they'll leave against this Dallas team. The defense is better, as you mentioned, but I think Hurts is actually going to keep improving as we see him. He uses his feet a lot. So I like him to get the job done. I like Dallas to win this game. Fun little Monday night game. The primetime game has been awesome so far. So yeah. I hope that continues as we get going. Before we get going, I want to remind everybody we are sponsored by Thrive Fantasy prop betting app. So download Thrive Fantasy or go to thrivefantasy.com. Check out the app. When you sign up using promo code LineStar, LINESTAR, you get a first-time deposit match up to $100 and make it even sweeter. LineStar is giving you 2 free months of LineStar Premium, which is worth every deposit dollar you'll put out there. So go check that out. Go to Thrive Fantasy, and we'll go over some of the picks in the $20 NFL Week 3 Sunday $50,000 guaranteed tournament. A couple of them like we do every week. Let's have some fun here because his pass rate improved last week, Bogman. What about Austin Eckler, though? Over 61.5 rushing yards against the Chiefs.
That's a good number, but the Chiefs have been giving up everything through the air, on the ground, doesn't matter. I know Eckler's a little touch banged up, but he is most weeks. Give me the over on 61.5.
And the over's the underdog. They're plus 110, so that's a good one to start things off with here. We think there's going to be a potential shootout maybe in Baltimore, Detroit. I do, at least. You don't. Jared Goff's look good, though. Over under 1.5 passing touchdowns.
1.5. I'll take the under because it pays out more. Yeah, I'll say he gets one and they run the other ones.
I like it. Atlanta and the Giants, we think could be a fun one. Calvin Ridley over half a touchdown, and the over is the higher point total here.
Yeah, give me that over. I mean, we saw James Bradbury get torched by Terry McLaurin last week, so I really like Calvin Ridley against him.
Another fun one because Antonio Brown is on the COVID list. He has to have 2 negative tests by Sunday. So Chris Godwin over half a touchdown, over is 90 points, under is 110.
I like that one. I like that one for him to get a touchdown because I expect Jalen Ramsey to be covering Mike Evans, a tougher matchup there. Just a more physical matchup you want to put Ramsey on. So Godwin is going to get not Jalen Ramsey. So give me that touchdown for him.
And last one I'm going to throw out here, Sunday Night Football. George Kittle had a dud of a week last week against Philadelphia. We saw TJ Hawkinson take the Green Bay secondary apart. George Kittle over under 1.5 receiving touchdowns.
I mean, you have to take the under there. He has not looked good, but I hate this one because the under pays 65. And you're only taking this one if you go with the over.
Yep, of 135. It's a game changer. It's the highest point total you can get on any prop bet this week.
Yeah, I like this Lamar Jackson one better up here. It's 286.5 passing and rushing yards combined. And the under pays less, but I like the over on that because, dude's going to put up 100 rushing yards against Detroit for the most part. You could see that. And so now you got to get less than 200 yards passing. I think that's easy for Lamar.
That's nearly a pick 'em, so that's a pretty good one as well. So that's just a few of them, folks. There's 20 of them to pick through. You have to pick 10. Hopefully you get most of them right and then get the more points. You move up the standings, so on and so forth. Lots of fun stuff over at Thrive Fantasy. So make sure you download the app and create an account and use promo code LineStar to get a first-time deposit match up to $100 and 2 free months of LineStar Premium. But that'll do it, folks. Week 3 bets and picks in the books. Check out Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at B. Andrick, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by Thrive Fantasy. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in your fantasy football games.